Welcome to the game of real estate. My name is Kris Krohn, and today I want to teach you how to crush it and be boss in this industry. And we got to start with right now whether you're going to be investing in real estate in your backyard or whether you actually want to invest out of state. Both can be really dangerous, especially out of state. And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my 3 secrets that have allowed me to do thousands of homes out of state. I'll never be investing in my backyard ever again.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So when I got going in the game of real estate, it all happened in my backyard. I bought my first house within the same city where I lived. I lived in that house, and then I rented out my basement, and basically the basement covered the mortgage, so I was living for free, right? That made sense for my own first house. Then a year later, I used the equity to buy my second house, and then I did that again to buy a third, and then a fourth, and 25 homes later, all within maybe a 30-minute radius of where I lived, I was making about $12,000 a month. So I'm going to tell you right now that I love backyard investing as long as you have the right strategy, because there are fantastic strategies and there are not so fantastic strategies. I'm going to share with you what I do to make backyard investing the most profitable it can be, but really today I want to focus on out of state and how you actually do that correctly. For me to share with you my 3 best tips on how to invest successfully out of state, we got to start with this first one. Riches are in the what? They're actually in the niches. So you got to ask yourself, what's your system? What's your approach? What's your niche? If you want to invest in real estate that is out of state, you need something duplicatable, something you can do over and over again. And so for me, my perfect niche is I do what's called a high ROI rental. ROI stands for return on investment. So it's a high return on investment rental property. And my specific niche is at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It is under the median, which means it's going to be under $220,000 nationwide and underneath the median for that area. I'm usually $100,000, $120,000, maybe $150,000 on acquisition. And it's always single family real estate that I'm going to be renting out. Now, we could have a conversation about, well, Kris, why not multifamily or why not commercial projects? I'm just sharing with you where I've done 4,000 homes, nearly $1 billion. It's in this niche right here, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, under the median, single family home. And that's because I know how to crank out of state, basically right around a 25% plus annual ROI. Here's what that means. If I put $1 in, then by the end of the year, it should be worth $1.25. Or 2 years later, $1.50. 4 years later, $2. 25%, 25, 25, 25, 25, that's 100%. So basically, my aim is to double my money every 4 to 5 years in real estate, which basically I've been doing for the last 15 years. The second thing that you need to understand about out-of-state real estate is the scariest part about it is that you find a perfect deal, you're excited about it, everything's lined up, but there's a problem. The property manager don't care about you. You don't know any handyman out there. Look at the realities of this problem. You own a property that for you to get to, you have to get in your car and maybe drive 20 hours or you have to fly. And all of a sudden, it's like, if I have to go out there just once, it's going to be like a $600 plane ticket and I have to solve this thing or I have to trust somebody in that marketplace. So number 2 is how you really win is by playing volume. So volume essentially means when you're doing a lot of deals, that's when you really crush it. And by the way, you don't have to do a lot of deals. You got to be a part of a group that is doing a lot of deals. I'm going to tell you how you can actually become a part of my group if you're interested. I'm buying homes every single day of the year, literally. And it is all based on volume because in volume, here's what happens. A property manager normally charges what? They normally charge 10%. Why do I have some of my property managers only charging 6%? Because I give them so many homes to manage. Or have you ever been ripped off by the handyman that kind of squeaks some things and charges more money or is late and doesn't show up at the job when they're supposed to? And it's kind of a nightmare. When you're giving them job after job after job after job and you're buying the same tile and the same materials and the same carpet, guess what happens to costs? They drop substantially. And so I might be 6% on my property management and all of a sudden my rehab drops down to what's super reasonable and duplicatable and works. So niches, volume. Number 3, don't just pick any random market. You actually need to go into the best markets. And here's what I mean by that. In the United States alone, there are 324 major metropolitan areas. And you know what? They're not all created equal. They can be ranked according to your niche, and they can also be ranked according to their appreciation. They can be ranked according to the cost of living. You can basically find the most ideal market out there that can win over and over and over again. I've been doing this now for over a decade out of state, and I'm gonna tell you right now, part of the reason why I get this 25% plus ROI is because half that ROI comes from moving into the best markets. Now, right now, if you talk to a member of my team, we'll share with you what our markets are. We're going to share with you how we're crushing it and how you can get in on the action. But what I want you to understand are a couple of key concepts. The first one is you're looking for an area that has a low purchase price. Your sweet spot is generally between $80,000 and $180,000, which is still $20,000 to $50,000 below the median. Number two is I like markets that have a low cost of living. Write that down. Low cost of living means that it's cheap to live there, but also that has a high earnings per capita, which means that in that area, people make a lot of money, but it doesn't cost a lot to live there. What it means is that when they get in the home, they could afford twice as much home perhaps, which means repairs goes down, basically everything goes down, and you end up saving a lot of money. So niches, volume, best market, this is the key for you to go out of state. Now, if you're still thinking, well, Kris, what if I want to invest in my backyard? Don't do rentals then. If you want to pick up 25% plus ROI, you can do that through doing, for example, what I call lease options. It's a form of seller financing. That's actually how I built my original portfolio. And the reason why I like it is it takes a little bit more hands-on work that a property management company doesn't know how to do, but it is more than double, sometimes quadruple as profitable as doing a rental. When I compare doing my lease options in my backyard or doing my out-of-state real estate, they both produce between 20 and 30% annual ROI. And here's the good news if you're just getting financially trained. The financial markets have a hard time doing anything better than 4, 5, 6, or 8%. Right now, your S&P 30-year average is somewhere under 10%. And when you compare that to the stock market, 401ks, IRAs, we're blowing it out of the water. It means that you can actually work way less of your life because you've got your money working for you instead of you working for it. So friends, that's the information today on how to invest successfully in the best out-of-state markets. If you want to know how to tap into my team who's buying houses literally every single day, just click the link below. You're going to find some help right there. You can talk to a member of my team to learn what that looks like. You also can get your hands on a free copy of my book. I just got this year's truckload in, and I'm giving them away at no cost. Just cover the shipping on it, and I'll be able to put that right in your hand. Hey, thanks so much for watching today, and make sure that you are a subscriber. I got videos coming out every single day designed to help you become financially free and live your life's purpose to the fullest extent. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.